Okay, so basically, these are my settings in OBS. So after you download it, this is probably what you're gonna have on your screen. Probably a bit different. I'm not sure though. But firstly, what you're gonna want to do, I've already set up everything since I have OBS from a longer time ago. But firstly, you need to go into settings and then go into output, and here it will say simple, but you have to change it to advanced. And then after it's advanced, after you put on advanced, you'll have like more settings you can like change. So streaming, you don't need to like do anything on that yet. So you need to go into recording firstly, and then the type will be standard like by default. Then here, I can't really change it since I'm recording, and while you're recording you can't really change anything. But here, recording path is basically after you finish recording a video and you stop recording, this is where the video is gonna go. I put mine in the folder where I make my videos, where I want my videos to be. And then recording format, it'll probably be like something else here, but change it to MP4 since there's like the best type of file for YouTube and stuff. And to be able to like to to be able to like edit it and stuff. Audio track, if you have so here it depends on here it depends how much. So first of all, number one is basically your microphone, and that's what I have. Number two is your speakers. Right now I'm not using my speakers for the output and stuff. Number three is for like, I don't know, if somebody else is talking, so like if you're on a different thingy like Discord or something. For probably music, like if you have Spotify or something, I'm not sure though. And the rest, I don't know. It depends. It's not exactly how I said it, because like it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter which is which. But apart from that, that's that. Encoder, if your computer has like an Nvidia graphics card, then I suggest you use it, like the Nvidia NVENCH.264. I think there's other two. One of them is X264. That's if you don't have a graphics card. That's like the second best option. And like I think it's also a default one where I have no idea what what it's like, but yeah, my computer's an Nvidia graphics card, so I use this. The rescale output is basically what your is basically what your video is gonna like be in when you post it on YouTube. So 1920 by 1080p is basically default slash the best option, like recommended. Now, after you finish with that stuff, here on rate control, you can either have CQP or CBR. First of all, I'm gonna show you the CBR. If you have quite a good PC, if you have like a average PC, let's just say, you can put yours to 40,000 kilobytes per second. So like the bit rate that your video is gonna be. So yeah, I put mine to 40,000 to have like good quality. And then if you have like a low end PC that that might like lag if you record or anything, just set it to either the default one, which is 2,500, or if it still doesn't lag, or if it doesn't lag, then set it to 3,000. If just just play around with it until it starts lagging, and then go down a bit. But the average amount of kilobytes per second for YouTube videos is 16,000 kilobytes per second, but if your computer just can't like if your computer just lags at that much, just set it to the amount it can process. Mine can process around 40,000 kilobytes per second. And the CQP, now the CQ level, this is how it works. The higher this number is, the lower your the lower graphics your video is gonna be, but like the smaller the file size will be. And the lower this number is, um the bigger your file will be, like much bigger. But your the graphics of your video is gonna be better. Now again, if you have quite a bad PC, I suggest you like I think you can get if you have quite a low end PC, you can put yours to around 20. Mine is kind of good, I guess. And the recommended CQ level is 15 for like most computers, even if it's a bad one, but I know it depends. So yeah, I just set mine to 15 mostly because like the average slash recommended one. Keyframe intervals, you'll want to set that to 2. Then here, so firstly, again, depending on your computer and when it starts to lag. So basically, you won't need to. I'm not sure, but it depends on your computer again. You don't need to like use these four like at all. So basically, my preset for my computer works at max quality, and it doesn't lag. But if yours lags at max quality, then set it to quality, see how it works then, and then if it still lags, then performance should be the best. Like it should not lag, hopefully, at performance. But yeah, I have mine at max quality. Profile, I think the default is high, so that's you don't really need to do anything on that. Look ahead and psycho visual tuning, just have both of them ticked. The GPU just set it to 0, and the max B frames to 2 again. And that's it for the recording. Now for the audio, or basically I think this will be by default or something, audio bitrate. But yeah, I think that's gonna be by default. Now if you actually go into audio, so basically, your your sample rate by default should be at 48 kilohertz, I think that is. But if it's not, just match it with the sample rate that your actual microphone has, because otherwise it will just sound bad. The channels is gonna be stereo by default, so just leave that like that. I'll show you what I mean about the sample rate with your microphone in a minute. But apart from that, global audio devices. So basically, in desktop audio, uh, you need to either have your speakers or your default OBS desktop audio, because it still works. It's as good as the speakers. I have my I have mine on my speakers, since I have speakers. The other desktop audio needs to be disabled unless you want it to like sound echoey and stuff. Just don't mess with that. Then the microphone auxiliary audio. Basically, have either on default or microphone, or like high definition audio device. Now the thing is, basically, my microphone is like a phone microphone. It costs like, I don't know, a few pounds, maybe not much, but yeah, it still works well. Like that's that's the only microphone I literally have, so I'm still using it. So yeah, just set that to your microphone. Maybe you'll have a different name depending on what microphone you have. Then the microphone auxiliary audio 2, 3, and 4, just set that to disabled, just like desktop audio 2, unless you want it to sound echoey and stuff, but it will just sound bad. The K rate, just set that to fast. These two will probably be by default, so you don't have to change anything. Then the monitoring devices, basically what you have as your desktop audio, because like is it, yeah, just set it to whatever you have. The recommended options are either default or speakers. These don't really these I don't really use them, but yeah, just use either your speakers or default. I'm gonna use mine as speakers, since my desktop audio is speakers. This disable Windows audio ducking will basically be by default like that, so you don't have to change it. Now here, you don't have to do anything here. So yeah, that's it with the audio. Then next thing is video. So basically, I can't really change anything since I'm recording right now. But on base canvas resolution is basically the resolution of your monitor. So it differs for everybody. Like basically, by default, most not by default, most monitors are 1920 by 1080, but mine is kind of quite big, like my monitor. So yeah, just you'll have like a few options like 1920 by 1080 and 720p, and also your actual monitor size. But if you have two, then go with the highest one. Like whatever, how many options you have, just go with the top one. My top one is 3840 by 2160 pixels basically. But that's my my actual like monitor's resolution. And then the output scale resolution is basically what your videos are going to be like recorded in. The recommended thing is 1920 by 1080, because anything higher will just look bad, even if your monitor is bigger than this, uh and you want to record in like what your monitor is, just don't, because it'll just look like 720p or something. So yeah, default slash recommended thing is 1920 by 1080. Then the downscale filter, it'll probably be 16 samples, I think. I'm not sure, but just make sure that you set your sharpen scaling for sample thingy. Set it to enough so that your computer doesn't lag while you record. Now my computer doesn't lag while I record, and mine is like at the top thingy, Langzos. This is like the sharpest downscale filter basically, but there's also another one that's below it that is still sharp and scaling, but it's 16 samples, and that's that basically. And then common FPS, so you want that will be by default there, so you don't have to change it. And then set yours to how much you want your recording to be at, like the FPS, but also make sure that it doesn't lag your computer while recording once again, because so you just play around with it, like with the FPS until it works best for you. And yeah, I also have basically, this is only for Roblox, but yeah, I have a FPS capacity unlocker, and my PC can run at the top of 360 FPS, 360 FPS. So that won't really affect anything of your thingy. It will just work like a bit smoother. So yeah, that's that for the video. Then the hotkeys, basically, what I have mine at So that basically if so go onto here and then just for example, if I press the M key whenever you start recording, you have to press the M key, and then for example, I have to press N for stop recording. But what I have mine at, so basically there's this weird looking basically key thingy, like under the escape button on my keyboard. Like it's to the left of number one on the keyboard, and it looks like this, even though it's not supposed to look like that. But yeah, I have both of mine like this, since you press it once to start recording, and then you press it again to end recording, and that's basically like the key I mostly is closest to my fingers when I like want to play a game and start and stop recording. So yeah, I think the same thing you could do with start streaming and stop streaming. But yeah, Discard delay, I have no idea what that is. Start replay buffer, you don't have to do anything else for these unless you like you actually know what these are. Then on advanced, you don't need to change anything here, cause all of these are by default here. And now let me show you what I mean by the by your videos thingy, the monitor, and also and then the sample rate. So basically, if you go into your settings, and then you go into actually type in speakers, and then it'll just come up with sound system, and then on your things, you choose where to play some. Basically, this is your speakers. Mine, I have no idea why it's on 100 volume. No wonder it's loud. But on your microphone, go and press this button here. Then on audio, uh, just don't do anything here. But here on the format, this is what I said. Basically, the best thing for recording like audio and stuff is two channels, 24-bit and then 48,000 hertz studio quality, because DVD quality and CD quality isn't really good. And if the thing on OBS, your settings on OBS was 44,100 hertz studio quality, then set it to that. But of course you can change it to sound better. Now that's that thing. Then you can just test your microphone. I don't know how that works, but yeah, I think you need like headphones. And then apart from that, if you go onto your if you go onto your or if you go onto your search bar in settings, and then you type monitor, view advanced display info. Basically, this is my display thingy, 60 hertz refresh rate. And here, this is what you need to see. So desktop mode. In desktop mode, your desktop mode here, it will tell you basically how big your monitor is. So you need to leave that, you can't really change it, to be honest. But just so you know what to do when you what base canvas resolution you need to put your um settings at, and then the output scale resolution, as I said again earlier, 1920 by 1080 is the best. So yeah, just do that, I guess. And that's basically my settings part. now to get into the more complicated part, it's not really more complicated, but it looks a bit more complicated. So this part where you add the to capture your screen, basically you need to go onto this plus sign, and then you'll see a display capture. You need to click on it, and then when you click on it, you can change the name of it like to whatever you want. I don't know. So I already have one, so I'm not gonna add a different one. So that's that. You don't really need to add any filters or anything. No properties really. But the properties you'll have them here. Basically, you can see here how big your monitor is again right here. Capture cursor, and if you wanna capture the cursor, if I press that, as you can see, it won't capture my cursor, but here it will. So yeah, then for audio output, so basically what this is the audio that's gonna be like in your game, or for example, if you're playing a game and you have audio output capture, then it will capture what's happening, like the sound that's in the game. Then you can actually have a game capture instead of a display capture, but I prefer display capture mostly because when after I finish recording, it just looks a bit better, like it's less pixelated and stuff. I don't know, it depends though. So that's what you need for now. Then you should by default have a microphone slash auxiliary right here. And what you're gonna do is go onto this little cogwheel symbol, and then go into filters. Now, as you can see, I have quite a lot of stuff. Now, I've set mine based on like how I want my voice to sound. Like it depends for everybody. Now, when I played around with all of these, I found out that if I use an expander and if I take off the expander and the limiter, my voice sounds better. So I'm just gonna keep those like hidden, like so that I don't use them. Now the compressor by default should probably be like a ratio of 10 to 1. 3 to 1 is much better, so just change that from 10 to 1 to 10 to 1 from to 3 to 1. Threshold, you'll need that around you need that around minus 18 decibels. Now attack time is basically when so a compressor is basically, I think I'm correct. Like if your voice goes lower, it will bring it higher, and if it goes too high, it will bring it lower. So the attack time is basically when you want the compressor to like work. Like so, for example, if I shout, I'm not really gonna shout right now, but if I shout, if it's 1 millisecond, this compressor to make my voice lower is gonna start in 1 millisecond. Now, the more milliseconds you put out, the more time it takes for it to like start working. So you'll need that. You by default it should probably be at around 10. I think, I'm not sure though, but just set that to 1 to be the fastest. Release time 60 is good. Output gain, I mean, 14 is recommended. Now on sidechain slash ducking source, you don't really need to do anything. Just leave that on none. Expander, it depends. It depends. For me, I don't use it since as I said, my voice sounds good without the expander. The gain 3 decibels is good, 3 or 4. Limiter, this basically like limits how I think I'm saying this correctly, but if for example um your voice goes like low, like really low, this limiter basically what it does, it's basically, no, I mean like if it goes too high, if your voice goes too high, this is the limit. It lets you it lets you like be like loud, but it actually does. You won't really get to this much really, cause it's quite loud, and since you have the compressor, you won't really get to that much. But that's why I don't use it. And the release is 60 milliseconds. That I think that's by default. I'm not sure though, but yeah, just leave that like that. The noise gate so basically, wait, I don't know why I have mine like that, but yeah. So basically, your closed threshold and open threshold, you'll have it around by default should be like around 35 and 22. I'm not sure though, but just based on your voice, just basically so play around with them, but make sure that between them is 5 or 10 decibels. If it's like 6, 7, 8, 9, or 1, 2, 3, 4, the decibels between them is not gonna sound good. So whatever the closed threshold is, make sure that the open threshold is 5 or 10 decibels less, and yeah, because it will just sound better. And also, don't set this too low, and don't set this too high, or like don't set this too high, don't set this too high, low, because if you set these two very low, then when your voice sounds when your voice like stops being loud, it just cuts you off before you even finish the word. So for me, the best settings are 40 decibels for closed threshold and open threshold, the 30 decibels. Now, for me, it also works at 35 decibels, but it's better for me at 30 decibels. Attack time, set it to 1 millisecond, like the compressor. Just the faster, the better. These will be by default like that, I think. So if it's not, just set it to 100 milliseconds and 150. It's quite fast, so it's good. Noise suppression. So also, I didn't tell you how to do this, but basically you have to go down here and you basically have all of these right here. Invert polarity. I'm not sure what that is, but if I use one, it just says no properties available. So I don't know how to use it, so I'm just gonna take that off. Now for noise suppression, you have to go down here and just click noise suppression, or just right click anywhere in this dark area and press add. Like just hover your cursor over the add button, and then just select which one of these you want. And then for the noise suppression, basically make sure you have it on RN noise basically, is because it basically makes it so that it uses your CPU basically. It uses your CPU, but it kind of deletes some of the like most of the background noise, and that's what compressor does. But yeah, just make sure you have it on RN noise, good quality, more CPU usage, because it just sounds better. Now you've got your microphone settings done. Right here I have mine on around here. I have mine on 10.3 decibels. So basically, your voice needs to stay like mostly in this yellow box, and like between minus 30 and the minus minus 10 decibels. You're like around here. So if it goes a bit under minus 30, it's still good enough because like you can people can still hear you. But the best quality for your voice, you need to keep your voice around here. But like those settings that I showed you earlier will help you be here. So yeah, that's basically it. Audio output, basically don't need to mess with anything, like play with it, because if you go into a game, it will like it will just set I set mine to minus 40 because if if by accident I have my if I have my in-game volume on like very high, it will just make my voice completely, it will literally be louder than my voice. Or I keep it down here, so no matter how much the volume in game is, it's still kind of like not so loud. So yeah, that's basically it for the settings.